Okay, and we're live. See, I did that. Just bam,
Yay! Good afternoon.
and we're live. I didn't even play the song this morning. I'm like, I'm tired.
I figured you was tired. You was up late
You know,
on kick,
doing just doing the Lord's work.
on kick,
Yeah,
up late,
I was up late doing
and
the
then
Lord's
you
work.
and the toddlers had to get toddler time.
Let me tell you something. I will never be so dramatic. Be like, oh, these kids are gonna be the death of me. But when you get to a certain age, you already almost there.
I mean, you might be at that age where you stand on the front porch and
Shake
holler,
my fist.
yeah, get off my grass.
I told y'all, I'm Stanley from Friday. Hey, could you get off my lawn, please? Like I'm Stanley from Friday.
You
Like,
know what's funny? I'm like that too because we have to pay to get our lawn sprayed, and people like to turn around in my driveway instead of going around. And I'm like, don't get on my grass because you
yeah,
don't do that.
yeah, I don't like that.
But
I
you,
don't
I
like
can
that.
see you at the screen door. Look at this. Somebody look at this. The cat drinking milk out the bowl.
Look, let me tell y'all. Look, you have no idea what goes on down here at Hoodoo Central. The amount of shenanigans is unreal. The amount of shenanigans is unreal. I am tired. My soul is weary. You know,
Yeah.
Noonie sleeps with me, and I swear, me and Noonie act like a 20-year married couple. Noonie will hug me, and then we both turn our backs to each other.
You get to turn your back.
Yeah, well, yeah, because but the thing is, it don't do much good because then I just turn my back so that I can take the kicks to the kidneys instead of the stomach.
Okay, yeah. Because when they sleep in a bed with you, they have to have some part of their body part on you. So it's usually like their feet on your face or
That is the dynamic at this point.
yeah. My son had slept like perpendicular to me one night and just was kicking the
Well,
crap out of my face.
perpendicular. Well, la di da. I did not know we had a geometrist
I'm
on the
no,
show
actually,
today.
geometry was my worst subject. I'm so glad I only had to take one of
Really,
those
it
classes.
was my best. It
Mm-mm.
was like geometry was my best because all you had to remember was like 90, 45, and 180 or 360. After that, it was all cake.
Geometry is boring. I did better in algebra. I think
Oh god.
usually it's like either you do well in geometry or algebra. A lot of people don't do well in both. Some people do well in both.
No, I did not. I've hated math since the beginning. Once we ventured out of elementary school, I hated math.
Yeah, everybody's like, you never use algebra. Well, accountants use algebra.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't. I use computers.
Let me tell you. Oh, we have not even greeted the people. We just
Oh,
we just started talking. Hey everybody. Hey, hi guys. We see y'all are here. Welcome.
good morning.
Good morning. Welcome
For the
to the
next
Conjure
40 minutes.
Cafe brunch edition because I woke up late. Look, I'm wait a minute. Let me see if I can play the message that I sent Naomi this morning. Oh, I was like,
He sound like he just woke up.
yeah. So yeah, I sounded like I was half dead.
Yeah, you
I
sound like
sounded like I was half dead. But
yeah.
well, we're here. We're here. It's before lunch, so it's still the Conjure Cafe serve cross sandwiches. So welcome to the Conjure
Croissant.
Cafe where we just kind of chill, kind of laid back vibes. Eventually, I'm gonna figure out how to play music at the same time, and we'll just be able to. That's it. That's what we're gonna do.
Talk
You know,
mess over elevator music.
absolute that would be so. I think I just have to create a new audio source and then do it that way. But I'm not sure how, so I'm not going to right now.
I
But I
don't.
will figure it
Until then, you'll just get to hear random puppy sounds because she's spoiled. I'm
out.
sorry.
So you know what y'all can do? Y'all help us out because to me, Naomi sounds like she's in a can.
Do I sound like I'm in a can?
And her audio got your audio gets better when we're live, but in the pre-live lobby, it doesn't sound as crispy.
You know what? Maybe I should get one of them tiny microphones like they have on TikTok
No,
and
because then
clip
you
it
hear
to
people
something
breathing.
random.
The thing you hear. You hear people breathing. But you know what? But in the pregame lobby, Lord, you can tell I have Call of Duty brain.
Mm-hmm.
In the pre-show lobby, your microphone is not in camera view. So now it's right there facing you.
Yes, because you kept complaining, so I just pulled it closer.
Because you sounded like you were in a can, ma'am.
I'm not in a can.
Okay, yes. And the guy that had the thing on during court is obviously not a cat, but he appeared to be a cat at the time.
I love that video.
I'm not a cat, Judge.
I just can't figure out how to turn it off.
Gosh,
Don't make fun of that poor
sheesh.
booming man.
We gotta have I need some more guys here because you know the problem? The problem is it's just me and all you estrogen bears, and I get dogpiled on all the time.
What?
Yeah, she sounds great to me.
She's just telling the truth.
You sound okay. You're not crispy like a McDonald's Sprite.
I don't want to sound like a McDonald's Sprite. That's poison. Your Sprite should not be spicy.
It's not spicy.
It is spicy. You try to gulp
It's
it if you want to. It goes down like a whiskey.
it does though. It
It does.
absolutely
You ever
does.
drink whiskey through a straw? Not saying I have, but that's what I
I'm
imagine.
not
That's
saying I haven't. Shoot. Hey, listen, when you drink whiskey through a straw, you know what the purpose is at that point. Like I literally sit down like, all right, boys, I know where we're headed.
It's not it's not for enjoyment. It's to get the shakes to
Oh
play
God.
the shakes up.
Listen. So I went to a party one time. I think I've told this story before. I went to a party and it was just a bunch of friends. Like after work, we went to a bar, and then the bar went to like somebody's house with bottles. Then everybody was hungry, and the person whose house it was like, "Well, we're gonna go get food." And I think that was just a defense mechanism so that we don't descend upon their snacks like a herd of locusts. So we went to, I can't remember if it was Applebee's or Chili's, and obviously, you know, this is a long time ago, and obviously, you can figure out why I can't remember the details. But I do remember for some reason walking to the front door, high stepping like I'm walking through tall grass, and I don't remember why.
Because you didn't want to trip.
No, it's no, you know what it was? It was one of those I'm fine walks where
Oh
you're
yeah.
trying to convince
I'm not
everyone
drunk.
that you're okay. Like, I'm fine. Like, but I remember a buddy looking at like, what is, and that's when I became aware that I was marching.
Yeah,
to,
we had one of those.
in
One
that
of my
direction.
buddies he used to throw down, and I had to gather him out of the bushes. Yeah, he fell in the bush. He was like, "I'm not drunk," and he fell in the bushes.
Okay, so a buddy of mine by the name of Jerome. Jerome, we were walking. This is like college days, and we were walking, and Jerome wasn't looking where he was going, and he ran into a tree.
Oh, I know he felt that in the morning.
What? But he got mad at the tree, and he started kicking and punching the tree.
But you do that sober.
Well, I do. Gohan, thank you, brother Gohan, for the gifted membership. I appreciate it. Jolie, make sure you say thank you.
Shout out to Gohan.
But yeah, I do that sober. But you know what's crazy? The rest of us started egging him on as he's fighting the tree.
Yeah,
We like, we like, get that ninja Jerome, get him Rome, get him Rome. And he like, oh
no.
yeah. Those
Yeah,
were good times.
it was bad. Being in the military, it was normal for you to be an alcoholic. So it's somebody always came to work with their wrist bandaged up from punching a wall. Because it wasn't like the the drywall, it was like stone, good structure. Yeah.
The military and the projects know how to build walls.
Well, we were in Germany at this time, so they had, I think there's like World War II buildings. They were very structurally sound, not plywood. So yeah, people used to get toe up. That was
Shout out, shout out to the military builders and the projects.
yeah, the projects. Yes, because my mom lived in the those those floors will teach you don't run in the house.
Because if you fall, you might have a problem.
There's you are the shock absorber because there's nothing but tile and concrete. But that tile and concrete kept the area clear. Like it's cool in there. You ever realize how cool it is in there? It's
Look,
not hot when you go in there.
even listen, I have been inside many a project domicile, and let me tell you, it can be 102 degrees outside. You walk in there, that one tiny AC unit has it frigid in there.
Yeah,
I mean frigid.
it's very cool in there. That concrete come in clutch.
You know what? Now it makes me wonder, like, why? Shoot, why shouldn't we? Hey, we all need to live in bricks.
And bricks and concrete.
Look, Gen H 3131 says bricks are cold in the winter.
Yes, but who cares? Because I love cold.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. I've gotten so soft, man. Like, see, I've gotten soft. SAWFT, soft.
How you live in the
Because,
middle of nowhere?
well, okay, so, okay, if a bear wanders up, I got you. But if a possum walks onto the porch in the middle of the night, I'm gonna wake you up.
I've actually gotten I fixed my garbage disposal last night, and I will kill any spider. That's the way I'm living right now. Me and
Leave them
spiders, we
spiders
go,
alone.
we fight. I fight wasps, spiders, anything.
Little kids, pets,
Definitely little kids,
everybody.
the pets.
Listen, you know who I want to fight? I woke up and my sister was doing something in the kitchen. The kitchen is like her hangout spot. She's
It
be
is.
in there.
It
She's
is.
be in there.
That's
And
how
I'm
we
like,
hide from y'all in there.
y'all hide from us, the kids everywhere.
Hmm.
Everyone in the kitchen. I'm like, why are you in the kitchen and you are literally just standing there? Like, anyway. So, and I'm like, God, these people get on my nerves. And she was like, what people get on your nerves? And I'm like, well, if you're gonna try to make me feel bad about it, I'm just not gonna speak on it. See, I tried to pull some reverse psychology, it didn't work. So this is it's not that it was early in the morning and I was frustrated, but let me tell you, have you looked around certain parts of the spiritual community, Naomi?
I've seen it, but mostly I see German shepherds and cats.
Okay. How I need to get back there because I made a video. I made a video, and of course, you know where this was.
TikTok,
You know where it
a
was.
clock app.
So someone asked, well, someone made a request, and it was okay. Someone made a request. They said, "Hey, can you give some really fast but powerful, easy money workings? It's getting rough out here." And so my response was, "Well, there are no fast, easy, powerful workings when you're new. Because, like anything else, you've got to learn the methodology, you've got to learn the emotional control, then you got to get good at it. It's no different, like I always say, cooking or whatever. You got to learn it and then perfect it." Then their response was, "Oh, I'm not new. I've been practicing Conjure since I was a child. But sometimes things get tricky when you have generational spirit pacts and contracts." And I'm like, why? And so y'all are gonna be proud of my growth. I just responded, thanks for watching. Naomi.
They use that word salad like a security blanket. I can't prosper because I got these generational curses that I got to break, and it's
Naomi. You know, My response internally and to my sister was, if you've been doing this since you were a child, why are you here? Why are you asking me? Because that's clearly a beginner question. When did it become so bad to be a beginner? When did it become so bad to say, yes, I'm new? So, do you have anything like more beginner friendly, or can you guide me through this? When did it become so bad to be new to this? Everyone's been doing this since they were a child, but you clearly are asking beginner questions because only beginner people, and I always say this all the time, will say, hey, will you give me what's a good working? No, when you say
Yeah,
a good working, what you mean
it's
is
good and
something easy,
fast.
right? Good and fast.
Yeah, and but that Sherry has it right. But it's shame is a part of it. You know how you go to church and the new person in church, they flipping through the Bible instead of looking at the table of contents because they don't want nobody to know they don't know nothing about the Bible.
You know what? You know how many people don't know it's a table of contents in the Bible?
That too, probably.
You know how many people don't
Don't
even know?
nobody
Like
want.
just turn to the front. I had somebody get so upset with me because all I said, well, I mean, okay, it was a bit flippant of a response. I'm getting better. Jesus still working on me because they asked me about the scripture I recite when I light the candle, and I was confused. And I said, you mean the one that starts in the beginning? And she was like, yeah. I said, you're asking me where to find in the Bible where it says in the beginning? Because I was like, even if I don't know the Bible, if the verse starts off with in the beginning, I wouldn't be at the back of the book.
Well, there's a lot of things that should be common, and that's why they teach people not to give babies water when they're a baby.
Cause see, I like to be the beginner in stuff because I'm always expected. So I'm turning the light down. Wherever I go, I'm always expected to like talk or know something. If I'm going to like a spiritual function, I'm like, hey, this y'all thing. I don't know nothing about this. Teach me something new.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
it's like,
in order to be a true scholar, you got to be able to learn from everybody. You know, you
right.
may not be the subject matter expert in everything. And I hate people who just come into stuff and thinking they're the expert. And when I changed my job, I had to learn from the young kids, and they looking at me like, "You don't know." I'm like, "I just got here."
You are one of the young kids. What are you talking about?
The younger kids.
Okay, I'm about to say, like the toddlers. Baby Embroidery Queen in the chat said it was on the last page. In the beginning, it was on the last page. Right. It was right before the end. Like right before the end. And watch, somebody's gonna be like, there's a the end in the Bible? As soon as Iran gets sick of us, that's when you see
Yeah,
the
maybe
end.
turn to the book of Hezekiah.
I will tell people go to the book of Amos, and they look at me like, wait a minute, hold on. I know it ain't no Amos. It's an Amos in the Bible. There is a book of Amos. Like when I tell people Ruth chapter 1, verse 16, 17 is one of the most powerful verses for love spells, and then they go, ain't no Ruth in the Bible.
Oh man, that's funny because I told somebody was like, Naomi, that's a made up name. I was like, my name is in the Bible. No, it ain't. You're right.
Oh man.
You're
Listen,
right.
that's what I'm trying to get to, Naomi. I'm trying to get to you right. You right. My
Yeah, when
godfather and
people
Paulo
give me
tried to teach me that.
unsolicited parenting advice, I'm like, oh, okay.
Listen, Tata Will, my godfather, tried to teach me that because I would go to Misas and I despise Misas. I despise them with a passion because all it is, I mean, not all of them, obviously, but there are a lot of them, especially down in South Florida, where it's just a show. It's just a show. Like it's just somebody pretending to be weird and
Pretending.
and yeah, pretending that a spirit is oh, your great grandmother is speaking to me and says that you should come to her grave more often. And you're sitting there going, I just left her grave. And Mima in the corner, I ain't said nothing. I ain't said none of this. What are you talking about? And so that's why I don't like Misas. And I would go and the spirit would speak to me through a medium and say all kind of ridiculous stuff. And I'd lean forward and my godfather would just put his hand on my shoulder, like, just say okay. Just say okay. Well, see, he's from up north too.
That's what it is.
He's from up north, smoking Newports.
Why
So
is
we,
it the up north cigarette?
I don't know. Listen, look, y'all say it's brick and smoke Newports. That's it. And y'all have the best pizza in the world. That's all
It
I know
is.
about up
It is
north.
the best pizza in the world.
So he sit
And
there
it is
like,
mad brick all the time.
he's like, look, yo, what I tell you? You always getting mad. Yo,
I
you
do
need
catch myself saying
you
something
need
as
you
mad,
need to
like
work on
using
that.
mad as an adjective. I'm like, that's please.
It's like, look, they say shorts alone, shorts. He don't smoke the kings. So he's like, Lou, you always getting mad. Like, you need to calm down. Like, do you have some kind of problem or something, my guy? And I'm like, no, Tyler, come on now. Because I think he's my godfather in Palo, but I think I'm like 2 years older than him. So it's funny. And he's like, oh, just say okay. I'm like, but Tyler, come on, they faking. They ain't saying that, ain't no spirit said none of that. And he was like, just say okay. Just say okay. And it's
Mad for
so funny
peace.
because his ex was one of the mediums at a Misa. And he put her out deservedly because she violated. I'm not gonna put the stuff out there, but he put her out respectfully, didn't just throw her out. He was like, yo, you gotta go. This ain't working out, blah, blah, blah. You know. So he has a Misa. She comes and she's one of the mediums at the Misa. So the spirit comes down upon her and proceeded to tell everyone how her daughter, this is how delusional this was. So the spirit was referring to her as her daughter.
Oh
My
my.
daughter this, my daughter that. You should not be so cruel to my daughter. Mind you, Naomi, picture you pretending to be possessed by a spirit and telling some guy that he should be nicer to your daughter. And I'm sitting there like, well, here comes the point where he is gonna flip his shit. And I'm gonna get to say, Tata, you should have just said okay. But he's sitting there being cool. Okay. Okay. And I guess the spirit didn't get enough of a rise out of him. So the spirit proceeded to go all around the Misa, telling everyone not about themselves, but how her daughter is just meant to marry a child of Shango. Guess who was happened to be a child of Shango? Right. And all this, and I'm like, the spirit even went to the drummers. The drummer like, what? That we just, I mean, one of the
But
drummers had to get up and just walk the spirit around.
I ain't never been in a ceremony or an environment like that. But you know what that remind me of? Church. That remind me of church. You ever? I've been in a
What
lot
church
of
you go to?
churches because I will go to churches in different around the different bases when I
Okay.
so I've been to very many different churches. And I went to a church in Texas one time, and this lady got up on the stage and started speaking in tongues, and the pastor was like bobbing his head like he understood, and they were speaking some sacred language to each other, and I'm just like, what is going on here?
Wait a minute. So somebody was going shamana high, and then the pastor like and
No, he
they
wasn't talking. He was just intently looking at this woman like he understood what she was saying. He didn't
oh
tell us what she said.
like
He
that time during the old podcast you used the word limerence and me and Coco were like yeah, yeah, limerence, exactly, you told that up.
he was just sitting there. He was like, mm-hmm. And I'm like, are you serious? In all my young years, I ain't never seen no nonsense like that.
I have seen a lot in church. I have seen a lot in church. But I've always wondered. So whether it's Haitian voodoo, Orisha, wherever, there's a protocol in place for if a spirit comes down but can't seat itself fully. You know, excuse me. It's kind of like when they come down for like a benign possession, which happens in African traditional religions. It's like it's a benign thing. They seat themselves upon you. But sometimes, it's like, that's why in a lot of places they'll say the horse and the rider, especially Haitian voodoo. And sometimes like you hop on the back of a horse, that horse bucking, you can't get in there good. And so there are protocol in place to kind of ease the possession. Either the spirit comes off or the spirit seats itself the way it's supposed to. But in the meantime, when there's friction, there'll be a lot of bumping and thumping and stuff around. And you know what it looks like? It looks like somebody catching the ghost in church. And so I have always felt like there's a physical spiritual connection that we have more so than other people.
Yeah.
And so I've often wondered, what if like Sister Bethel on the floor bebopping around, if we go and take her shoes off and put her feet on the floor and like blow rum and do all the things that we do outside of the Christian church, would Sister Bethel pop up as Shango and be like, "Whew, I've been trying to come down here for a minute."
What's going on?
Like jazz hands, here Shango.
We had a visiting pastor to our church, and I guess he was trying to encourage people to speak in tongues. And he got some little kid up there, and then the lights went off. I was like, "See, go and get out of here. Go and get out of here."
Listen, okay, so it's jokingly, but well, what is it? Black Cat says, laughing but serious, right? Laughing but serious. There are often more devils in church than than other places, you know, because I
Yeah.
mean, people are people. Often more demons in there than other places. But I always wonder, why am I getting so much background noise on my what you call it, on my mic? Do you hear my fan blowing?
You probably hear my AC.
No, I was just looking at the register.
Oh, on your side?
Yeah, I have the little sound meter and I see it fluctuating. And I'm like, why is that? Why is that?
It's the spirits.
Oh wait, never mind. No, I'm R worded. I'm R worded. I'm looking at the one that says co-host. I'm looking at yours.
Yeah, you probably hear my AC because that thing be on
I
all the
don't blame
time.
you. Yeah, mine too. Mine
All
too.
the time.
And guess what? My AC stays on all the time. I was telling somebody before about how like it's super humid down here in South Georgia and it's super hot. So because some beautiful people in the EPA decided to do an adjustment to the comfort rating, houses have that are built now have smaller AC units than before. So the shop, same size house, has a 3-ton unit, whereas my house, because it's a few years newer, has a 2.5 ton. So what that means is if it's 95 degrees outside, running full blast constantly, it's going to be about 78 degrees in the house.
Yeah, it's only gonna get shoot. Well, we was in them cams in Iraq. We used to put them ACs on frostbite. But my roommate used to come wake me up because I work night shift. She would wake me up when they turn the ACs off for maintenance because I would die. It's 130 degrees outside, and I'm wrapped up on all these blankets. I got 2 minutes before I pass out in one of those shipping containers. We lived in shipping containers.
I wish that I could find me a crackhead and place an order in for one of those AC units they have on the top of hospitals or jails,
Oh yeah.
because those two places are gonna be cold.
Not no jail though. They don't care about them poor people.
And from what
Especially
I
not in New
heard,
York. I
from
heard that
what
they was
I've
in there with
heard,
heat rashes and stuff.
well, see, there's a difference. See, prison in Georgia, because I run prison ministries. Prison in Georgia is hot because the prisons in Georgia have been around since since they filmed that movie with Burt Reynolds, The Longest Yard. Seriously, that prison is still open.
That's crazy.
That prison is still open, and they have not installed AC in any of them. Look, in Georgia they call the prisons camps because that's how they're built. There's like holes in the walls, and rats come in. But it's nature. It's
Yeah.
nature.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I'm so happy that I have two ACs, one from the bottom and one from the top. But the only thing is when you gotta maintenance these ACs. There's two bills instead of one. That's so terrible.
You're an accountant, and
So
you have an upstairs and a downstairs, and an AC unit to control each one.
yeah, it's a
I'm just saying Naomi should be running more donations than she run, y'all.
I have
Naomi,
two crumb snatchers
Naomi should be fueling this ministry. If
fueling the
y'all
ministry.
helping to
I
fuel the
I
ministry.
can't with my talents.
Oh my gosh.
I
I
got
swear.
two crumb snatchers. I'm a single parent. You know they eat me out of house and home, and every time I turn around, I gotta buy clothes.
Well,
Every
why can't they
every
have boys?
season they
Boys
need new
boys grow too
clothes.
fast.
Every
Boys
season.
grow too fast. Like, listen, I think if you have a male child, they should just go barefoot because you can't keep them in shoes.
No, I brought him shoes in what July. School started in August. He couldn't fit the shoes anymore. I was pissed. I was like, I got them on sale. He actually liked the shoes. He wore them twice. He's like, they're too tight.
Mm-mm.
And he had to explain that to his father. He was like, yeah, you got to buy them a size bigger because they might not fit next month.
See,
Yeah, they grow real fast in the summer. I don't know what it is.
it's all that sun. It makes them grow like plants.
And they sleep more in the summertime.
That's because they growing.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, see, you got to wake them up because see, your body. Yeah, see, listen, your body secretes growth hormone when you sleep. That's why if you lift a lot of weight, they say get some sleep because the growth hormone will help you to repair from working out. You got to wake them up.
No, they don't sleep. These jokers go to bed at midnight. They up at 6 o'clock in the morning like they got a job.
I'm with Wreck-It Ralph. I'm going old school, like Chinese foot binding. Like we about to just tie his feet up. Like
But
he'll
my
be
kids are on a schedule
32
though. They
with a
know that
size
they go in
4.
their room. They're in their room around what 9 o'clock, and they can stay up all night if they want to, but they better not come out that room.
Mm.
I hear my son at 2 o'clock in the morning giggling, watching cartoons. He'll just wake up and turn his iPad on. But he better not come in my room, wake me up.
Naomi.
What?
No. Listen. Remember we were talking about that person who was clearly a beginner, but was like, I've been doing it for years. They just sent me a message. Can you explain how to make a money sweetening sugar jar? I would add basil and peppermint and nutmeg. Is that okay? But you've been doing this since you were a child.
But they making a basil.
I'm just gonna comment. Thanks for watching. Maybe if I make them think I'm a bot.
Oh my god.
Thanks for watching.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Because you did tell somebody they can make a sugar and sweetener jar for money.
Yeah, you can. You can, but honestly, a lot of that it depends on why you're broke or why. Well, it does because your situation with money may not be sour. It may not be sour. You just may have had. There are so many other people. The problem is people watch a video and it's so simple they can't help but not do it. But it may not be your situation. Like a sweetening jar won't work if you and your ex still like each other, because that situation hasn't gone sour. So you can't sweeten something that's not sour.
Yeah.
You just can't. But people, since they like it and they have a jar and some sugar, they're like,
Yeah.
hell,
And a candle.
yeah, about to fire that up.
Yeah. I think the best thing that you did was tell people to do the work, but also put the irons in the fire. I think because that's always been my issue. The fire has no irons in it, and I just be like,
Where does money at?
dang, I done burned up these green candles.
But that's the thing. People don't get it. We have to work. We work on both sides. We work on both sides. So yes, I am energetically getting money in motion, but how it's gonna get to me?
Yeah, and then every time there's somebody else, yeah, ugh, they're like, I want you to do my account.
Because that's the only way that the universe has of getting money to you. And
Yeah,
that's why a lot of people like, I'm sick of doing money workings because all I get is overtime. Well, you need to have another pathway that the universe can get money to you. Because
yeah,
right now, all it can get to you is through what you already have established. That's the only way it can get money to you. Okay. It can't even have a money truck crash on the highway in front of you because you don't go outside.
dang right, I don't go outside.
See
And
that?
that if that happened in Atlanta, that would be scary. You know how bad the crash would be?
That has happened in Atlanta so much growing up, and we just never happen to be in the right place at the right time.
A money truck on 285. That is gonna be a catastrophe. People gonna be crashing into each other. You're gonna hear gunshots, fighting over money.
All right. Look, Natalie in the chat says, do the workings, apply for jobs. You gotta do the leg work for the workings. Right. It's like, and I tell this story a lot. This fella I did a love working for him. And after 2 weeks, there was nothing going on. And I said, well, what? It was because he had a crush on a lady at his job. I said, well, what did she say to you when you asked her out? He said, wait a minute, I gotta ask her out.
Oh my lord, gee. I gotta spend money.
And that's the thing. Or I mean, the same thing happens with love work. And people do a love work and they stay in the house, shut up all the time.
Amazon Prime delivers.
So the love spell is supposed to have the workings be like the hub, where somebody knock on your door, hey, I'm here to deliver a package, and then you gotta be like, oh, I want you to deliver a package, all right.
Men will be on dating apps talking about, so you gonna come over?
What's wrong with that?
I don't know you. That's the beginning of a scary movie. Going to a stranger's house.
I absolutely agree.
What if I come there with a mask on and a 40 caliber weapon?
Knowing these nasty knickknacks out here right now, they be like, do a 360.
She got a gun on my face, but she got a lot of cake though.
She caked up though. No, she caked though. Golly. Look, Leslie in the chat says, my future husband can't find me because I don't go outside. See?
It's hot out there. It's hot. It's expensive. Why would I go outside? Why?
Don't.
We went to my son is obsessed with going to Goodwill's because he think he gonna find some magical toy there.
say that's right. Shoot me. Oh man, y'all are terrible. And look, Nina B says, fact, there are a lot of guys that don't know how to date. They just want to come over your house. I don't think the world knows how to date anymore. It's not just the fellas. I can't say it's the fellas anymore.
No, because I had to learn how to date.
People just don't know how to date.
And that's not something we learned because the times are changing. It ain't like you be in a small town anymore. People don't date in their town anymore. They have access to all these humans. So I think it's some, mystical person out there.
Well, and that's the the issue. The issue is folks have forgotten the importance of dating, and it's a skill. You know, it dating is it's like it's an interview process.
It is, but also you have parents that say you're not allowed to date, and then they throw you out the house at 18. They're like, "Where's my grandkids?" And you like, my mom gave me some dating advice, and I looked at her like she was crazy, but now I understand. She said, "Don't buy a car if you don't test drive it." I'm like, "Mom, what the hell?"
Shout out to mom, friend of the show.
My mom is, yeah, she was young. Yeah,
It's just you know when you go to and apply for a job, okay, you have an interview, and they're grading you on how patient you were in the lobby. Big companies do. McDonald's don't care. But a big corporation that's going to be paying you a lot of money, they're like, okay, they waited for 15 minutes. That they angrily flip the pages, like what's going on? Then you come in. How are you dressed? How are you presenting yourself? Because how you present yourself is how you're going to represent me when I'm not around. Okay, how are you speaking? What is going on? And then if they hire you, they put you on a probation period because
yeah,
they know a
people
lot
don't
of y'all lie in
understand.
the interview. So they want to put you on a probation period to see the real you come out, see how you handle certain things. And then after you handle the probation, then you're hired full time. That is dating. You meet someone. Okay, this is where I said we were going to go. How are you presenting yourself? Okay, um, how are you acting? All right, you seem kind of cool. So yeah, we can just see each other. We can just see each other. That's a probationary period. And I need to find out how you gonna react if something happens and I show up to pick you up late. How you gonna act if I don't have any money? Do you want to just not go out at all, or do you want to suggest something, or maybe even offer to pay yourself? You
If
got to
you come
feel
to
all
get
these folks
me and
out.
you don't have any money,
But no one knows how to date anymore.
they
Instead,
don't. I had a
people
guy who was
want to swipe. That's it.
I was, so I changed my own headlights. And he was amazed that I knew how to change a headlight. And I was like, YouTube is free. But he was like, "Yeah, I don't have anybody to cook for me and blah blah blah." And you know what I did? I just acted oblivious. I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, for real. Oh, okay." He was trying to ask me out in a roundabout way, and I just act like I didn't know what he was saying, and I put my headlight in and left. If you can't be direct, then
That's true too. No one knows how to be direct unless they're either angry or and
you're
it's not
trying to
even
hurt your
direct
feelings.
unless it's digitally.
Yeah,
Digitally is the only time that someone knows how to be direct. Okay, but in person, not. We're so afraid of offending one another that it's ridiculous, and I mean that needs to stop. But
yeah. It's
back to dating. 'Cause I feel like it needs to be said. I feel like it needs to be said that if somebody like say I have gone to a Popeyes, right, and the Popeyes said now hiring, work today, get paid today. Now,
that's something Popeyes would say.
yeah, work today, get paid today. Now, Naomi, do you think Popeyes would be shocked if you went in there and were just horrible and then come back the next day?
No,
Right, because there was no interview, there was no feeling out. You just walked in off the street. So why do people act like they are so shocked when that same process was used to vet someone that is now your boyfriend or girlfriend?
I
So
think
now they're ghosting you, they're not calling you back, they're not doing this, and you're like, oh, I was love bombed. You only knew them for a week and a half. You were not they weren't a narcissist. Why are we calling people narcissists? Back in my day, you just got played.
I mean, every
You ain't vet
so
nobody.
everybody has narcissistic tendencies. Some of us just more than others, but everybody has either you on a spectrum somehow. It's a spectrum. Either you don't care about yourself at all, or you care about yourself way more than you should. It's a spectrum. But
Lord,
I think
everything
people
is a
have lost the
spectrum
art of
nowadays.
communication. We've lost that art of communication. You, how many times have I been on the phone with people who can't hold a conversation and they want to text me? I'm the most boring conversation. If you try to text me having a conversation, that's gonna be a boring conversation.
I can attest, but I appreciate that Naomi is direct. There's not going to be any superfluous conversation there. You ask Naomi, "Hey, so what you think about this weather?" Hot as hell.
It
Like
is.
that's all you're gonna get. Hot as hell. And you sit there and wait, like, that's it. Nothing
I
else.
don't like small talk. I really don't. I want to get to the meat and potatoes.
And so does the rest of the dating world right now.
Yeah. I mean, and it's dating is so horrible because some of the people take the representative too far. Like they take it too far. And you don't
Listen, I
really
agree.
realize the real them until you done had a kid with them and you don't wasted 3-4 years of your life. And you're like, this is who you are?
I agree. Like people don't vet the person anymore, and you don't find out the truth. And honestly, a lot of people rush in, and there's a song that says "Fools rush in." There's several movies. We know it to be the truth, but we still look before we leap. And I'm gonna tell you why. But anyway, people will not find out that their mate is an asshole until you're walking around with a little mini half asshole in the house.
Yeah.
You're like, what is wrong with this child? But see, here's the issue. We know we live in a microwave society. We know. So we have created the perfect storm of loneliness. The perfect storm of loneliness because we are very impatient. We want everything yesterday. We want everything yesterday. Okay. But also, we're all introverted.
People
They
ain't
have
introverted.
I am painfully shy. Look, they have made the world afraid of itself. We're afraid to go outside, no matter what people say. Look, everyone is on a spectrum now. Everyone got a touch of the autism, so nobody wants to go outside. Everyone hates crowds. Everyone hates being talked to for too long. So we don't know how to make friends as adults, but we have the audacity to actually get lonely and then want to be with someone. So when the loneliness gets to be too much, people jump to a dating app or someone, heaven forbid, calls you back. And then next thing you know, you're in a relationship with someone that you don't know, and then it crashes and burns. You're like, what happened? You know what happened. There was a comment up by Aaliyah up in the chat who said, what did she say? And the men too lustful, like little chihuahuas. Well, the men out here ain't being lustful by themselves.
Yeah, but they don't want to. They don't want to get
The
with the
little
women who
chihuahuas
are like
humping on
them.
somebody.
They want to pretend to be in a relation. They want to pretend that they want a relationship. Then they'll do all the whatever until they get what they want, and then they just fall off the face of the earth. I I've had a couple of instances where men say they want a certain thing, but they're more. Uh, it's more of they want what you represent as a person than you as a person. I like that you don't go out and you're not in the streets, and then next I'm boring. I'm just like, what do you want?
Okay, touche. But you and I, not you and I, you cannot act like you and I weren't on a podcast with someone who was climbing in windows.
I mean, yes,
So
we
there
have
there there
there
is
are
some there's somebody on
there are
y'all side
problems on
too.
both halves, but
Absolutely.
why can't the people with the problems get together? Why can't the men who just want that physical aspect get with the women who just want the physical aspect? No, they. I don't understand.
Because y'all so introverted, and I
Ain't
mean
nobody
y'all
introverted.
Society. Yes, you are. Stop.
I'm introverted
Well, how
I
can you not? You would just disagree and say no, we're not. But then you're like, well,
because
I'm
somebody got to
introverted.
be in the crowds. There are crowds of people that I'm avoiding. People are out there, and I'm avoiding them.
There are not crowds of people
Yes, everywhere
out
I
there.
go, there are
No,
people
because
there,
y'all all in the house.
and
You know how I
I'm
can tell
sick of
because
it.
my internet slowed down.
Every time I go outside,
Lord have mercy.
every time I go to the grocery store, there's people in the grocery store, all in
There
my way.
there are people commenting that should really remain quiet.
Opposite
And
attract. No.
no, and the only reason I say that is because as a spiritual leader and guide and life coach, I'm privy to certain things. I'd be like, you might want to just be quiet. You ever had a coworker who y'all kind of tight and you know their business and they be at work talking about one thing about me, I don't like no nasty house, but you been to their house. I'm like, some of y'all listen, one or two of y'all in the crowd need to
Uh-oh.
just not chime in. Need to just not chime in.
Leave folks alone.
I am.
I
I'm just
think
joking around.
the world is set up as an extroverted world, but nowadays people have a choice. So people can choose to be introverted. And some people are just lazy. I'll just
Mm-hmm.
put it to you like that. Some
That
people are
part.
lazy. They're weird and they know that they're not going to be able to walk up to a woman in person and say the nonsense they say on the app. So they do it on the internet.
Yeah, you can't send a D pic in real life. But you know why? You know why dudes do that? And I'm not saying all because there are some pervs out there, but they do that because it had to have worked at least once somewhere
Yeah,
else.
they if they shoot 100 shots, one of them gonna go in.
Got.
I had a man get on the internet and explain why the dating apps don't work because he said he will swipe on every woman, like he would match with every woman, and he would just wait to see who would match back with him, whether he liked them or not. He would just match, and then he would just pick from the matches. And I'm like,
Hmm. The shotgun approach. But see, that used to be. See, where are my fellas in the chat with some age on them? Because that used to be our approach in real life back in the day.
yeah, just holler at
But you
everybody.
would only holler at the ones that you found attractive. But you would talk to everybody. We would go to the mall and play the phone number game. Like a pack of the boys. All right, fellas, let's synchronize our watches, and then we would just scatter into the crowd, like, and then come back, like, yo, look, and then look, it's like baseball cards, like, oh, dang, we both got a Naomi.
No, you wouldn't.
I'm just saying.
Because when I was in high school, my mama had us in the middle of nowhere in the house. And the only people I got to talk to was my neighbors. All the kids, I used to ride the bus in the middle of nowhere. There was no walking around the mall aimlessly.
Look, Cedric in the chat said that he was shocked when his kids told him that it's nowadays they feel uncomfortable actually speaking to someone, so they don't give their phone numbers out because actually conversing feel uncomfortable. Texting is more normal now.
Yeah, my nephew texts me all the time. My brother, he won't pick up the phone and call me for nothing. He be trying to have call me because I don't want to read your broken up paragraph.
Right.
Call me. You hit me with a. I trained my siblings like if you got to send me a pack, you better call me because I'm not trying to sit there and read all that nonsense.
I feel you. Listen, and look, and this is not me talking about it because she knows this is true. So I have a good friend in the spiritual community. Her name is Mina. She goes by Mama Roo. Mama Roo. If you get on the phone with her, you're gonna be there a minute. And she says this is a term that she used. She says, I give good phone. And I'm like, listen, you're gonna be there for a minute. And so I understand if you know somebody like that, you like, because I have a buddy down here, and my buddy Ronnie, he's the type, if you text him more than twice, he about to call you back. He about to call you back. But the problem is you're going to talk about whatever because he knows a lot about reptiles. I mean, a lot. And so he knows a lot about husbandry, feed, and stuff like that. So I'll text him, hey, man, you ever encountered this or whatever? And he's like, yeah. And but he runs a business. So some he's like, I was in the middle of something. I had to. I just figured it'd be easy to call you. An hour later, we talking about the economy of Bucharest.
Yeah.
So I get if you're trying to avoid that, but these folks are trying to avoid any conversation altogether.
Yeah. When he was here doing his adult training, because when he got out of high school, I didn't let him just go straight to the world. So I had to, we would go out and I'm like, okay, you order so you can, get used to speaking up for yourself. Because that boy, I'm like, get your.
Look, Sherry in the chat. I thought she was having some kind of spasm. She said
777
7 7 93 11. At
If
first,
you
I was
don't know what
like,
that is, get off the podcast. You're too young to be here.
listen. At first, I was like, what? Then I was like 7 7 7 93 11. Okay, there used to be a commercial for Pizza Hut down here where they had one number and it would route you to your local Pizza Hut. And it was like, Pizza Hut, we're ready to drive. Call 662-5555. And I was like, man, this is great. Look, they got tired of y'all calling them. So they shut that number down in like 6 months. Like, no more.
That's
But I
terrible.
remember, the reason I remember those two numbers, because if you got one of them, that girl thought you was busted. If you got one of them two numbers, the Pizza Hut number or 7 7 7 93 11, she thought you was busted. But at least she gave you something.
Yeah, but you kind of gotta give out your number nowadays because you never know. A man might get angry because you hurt his feelings. So it's like I'm so glad that I don't have an approachable face because I've only and this man he was brave because I was hungry at the time too, and he cornered me while I was distracted by children and asked me for my number. And he was in North Carolina. I was on my way back to Georgia, and I'm like, "Sir, what am I gonna do with you in North Carolina?" He's like, "I got a car, I could drive." And then he said he had a Charger. I was like, "Red flag."
Why is the Charger the red flag of
It's a red
cars?
flag.
I want it. They don't make me. I wanted a Charger. Why is that a red flag of cars? Ladies, do y'all agree?
It's a red flag. Camaro, some Mustang, sometimes pickup trucks.
Hey, now, I got a pickup truck. What you trying to say?
Like if it's clean and it's got bells and whistles, and if it's dirty, okay, that's different.
Okay, because I mean, I have a work truck.
I dated a man who had a old pickup truck with a stick shift. Like it was old. It didn't have no air conditioning. But that was a sturdy man.
Brother Gohan said Naomi's red flag is that he was a man talking to her. That was it right there.
You don't care about your life.
Oh my gosh. Listen. But listen, okay, so all right, let me scroll back up. So Nina B says, just lie and say you're in a relationship. That's the end. So speaking from the male point of view, because it seems to be, and sisters, I understand y'all have it rough out there, but don't act like it's all cupcakes and rainbows on this side either. Because do you know I've been in 2 relationships with people I've never met?
I mean, I get it. There's some women out there that are really bold, and they're so bold that they'll grab you, which is outrageous. Outrageous. Right. Like I've had men tell me that women will grab their, no squares, and I'm like, why would somebody do that or grab their butts?
Because the world says it's okay if y'all do it. I don't agree, absolutely not. But I mean, it's like an unwritten rule that if you complain, then you're less masculine. If a woman grabs you,
Well, look, women do get it too because studs. If a stud wants you, they get a little aggressive sometimes.
All I know is I had a lady, and this is my fault. This is like 8 years ago. I was drinking, and I flirted with a non-conventionally attractive lady.
You open the door,
but no, wait. I closed it the next day when I said, "Hey, My bad. I was intoxicated. He is not me. I'm often cleaning up his messes the next day. Trust me, I hate him as much as you do.
She
Okay?
liked him.
She liked him. But I said, he and I are two totally different people. And she was like, well, take a couple of drinks and bring them back. I'm like, it don't work that way. It don't work that way, ma'am. Ma'am, Miss Ma'am. This is someone on another continent, Naomi. I told you, I'm a global icon. Another continent. And would not take no for an answer, turned into a full blown stalker.
Yes,
That's one.
because that night she went to bed and planned out your whole life.
What that
The
got to
whole
do with
thing. The wedding was planned, the kids, the dog, and the
mm.
fence. And you have
Listen,
shattered her life.
the next the next was even more delusional. This was a lady who was in Washington State. I'm in Georgia. She's in Washington State. We could not physically get any further apart in this country. Okay? She's top left, I'm bottom right. We could not get any further apart, right? Never seen this woman before in life. Never been in the same room. As far as I know, never been in the same state because I know I've never been to Washington. I know I've never been to Washington. I don't know if she's ever been to Georgia. Don't know, don't care. So I get people messaging me. So, hey, I met one of your exes. And I'm like, who? So I'm like, who the hell is that? I'm like, and she said, well, this is her screen name. I'm like, yeah, I know of that person, but I've never, what? It's like, no, she has said that y'all used to be together, but it didn't work out because Hoodoo Dog didn't like her. I said, why is she bringing the dog into it?
It's always the dog's fault.
I said, I've never been in the same room with this person before in my life.
But
So
it's
those two stories
believable
and the
because
window
people will
climber.
get it's believable because you come to my house, my dog don't like you. You gotta go. Sorry.
Listen, okay. It's funny you say that because I trust my dogs more than I trust Noonie and Wreck-It Ralph.
Nah, my youngest son, he don't like nobody. He used to tell my sister goodbye. Bye. He was like, I don't like the vibes here. You gotta go.
Just say
Bye.
bye.
He didn't like his
Listen,
dad. He was 4 months old, and his dad would hold him. He would immediately start crying. I was
oh
like,
my
look,
gosh.
they
Listen,
was like, what you did to him? I was like, I didn't do anything. He did not cry when I hold him.
look, so I'm down here getting settled. Okay. I'm meeting all my country family members. So, one of my family members has a wife that not too many people. She's an acquired taste. I'll put it that way. She was an acquired taste. Wreck It Ralph is like, oh my God, she is so great. And I'm like, well, surely she must be okay if Wreck It Ralph likes her. No. I'm like, Wreck It Ralph, you are a shit judge of character.
He is a baby.
Right. And so, and you know what I found? Noonie loves everybody.
She does.
She is like the life of the party. And she randomly walks up and gives people hugs. And I'm like, oh. And this is so weird. I know this is random, but part of me is like, you got to stop that because she's a little girl. But the other part is, I don't want her to be so afraid of people like everyone now. So there's like a medium. There's like a middle ground that you have to have.
You don't gotta worry about her because as soon as they do something wrong, she gonna bop them.
She is meaner than homemade sin.
Yeah, she gonna bop them
She
one
is.
time. As soon as they get on her nerves, she gonna bop them.
And Wreck-It Ralph is going to be obviously some big behemoth of a man when he's full grown.
He is
You,
a big.
do you see how tall how big he is? He's 3.
He is. He's pretty long for a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
And they said I think it's 3 when you double their size, and that's how tall they're gonna be as an adult. Yeah, my 10-year-old is about 5 feet tall, and the 4-year-old is what 45 inches. No, he's 6. He's 45. They just long. They just long, and hopefully they'll be tall. Cause anybody checking for no short man.
So that means that Wreck-It Ralph is going to be 6'6".
Oh, rest in peace, your wallet.
Wreck-It Ralph going to be 6'6". But to be fair, Wreck-It Ralph's dad wasn't tall, but all the uncles and grandparents were.
Yeah,
So the genes trickle down.
they do. It just takes one person. My youngest son's father is 6'3", but his oldest son is 50. What? He's not even 16 yet, and he over 6 feet tall. I'm like, my brother was size 15. I can't even buy his shoes in the store.
Mm-mm. Look,
Only
that's
Dick's
when
has
you
them.
just write the shack and be like, yo, you got
Dick's has
you,
them. But I think they stopped selling. They don't have the shoes in the store. I think it's 12 or 13 is the highest they go in the store. So you can't go to Foot Locker and get shoes. His shoes is like the size of my forearm. Like,
but see, Wreck-It Ralph is going to be a gentle giant. He's going to be Hodor, but he's going
yeah,
to, but Hodor that can talk, not the Hodor, but he's going to be like a gentle giant. Shout out to all the gentle giants out there,
yeah. I
because for every
told
gentle giant, there are evil compact people to
yes, tiny
balance it out.
people. We are. We gotta. We just the pawns. So we out here.
Cedric said, "I'm 6'2" and my son is 5'8." Said, I swear on look on Zoom, you do not look 6'2".
Yeah, but your son is still growing, ain't he? If he's under 25, they still growing. They just keep growing. And we stopped growing at 14. Like I've been the same size since I was 14.
Why is that? I remember I went to elementary school with um with twins, Lakeisha and Takesha, right? And I swear they're like 4'10". And I'm
Yeah.
like, and after we left elementary school, that's when I lost touch with them. And then I saw them again as adults, and I'm like, y'all ain't. I had to check my pulse, make sure I didn't go to the upper room, and I'm having like flashbacks of life. I'm like, everything all right?
Yeah. That's how it is because my niece is 11 and my son is 10 and she's way taller than him. But the girls grow faster, but she probably gonna be the same size for the rest of her life. She my size. Her
Lord have
grandpa
mercy.
is 5'1".
Okay,
So she may get a couple
okay.
inches taller and that's it. But that man's 5'1", but he be killing them boys in basketball. That's how I learned how to play basketball. He be running circles around them tall dudes.
Hey, Muggsy Bogues, and what was the other dude? Um, Spud Webb used to play for the Hawks. Spud Webb, shout out Spud Webb. Short Kings
Yeah, he's
Unite.
great at basketball. He be tearing them folks up in New York.
Short Kings Unite. Um, Naomi, we've been on for an hour.
Yeah, my dog gonna start acting crazy.
Yeah, and I hear Noonie out there. So Noonie is my alarm clock, and I'm having company this week, so I need to go buy a vacuum. So I gotta get out of here. No,
I
seriously, I have one of those the the shark broom things. So I have one of them, but I need an
yeah.
actual vacuum. So I gotta go buy a
Yeah. I
vacuum.
need a new
So
vacuum too because my vacuum died and then I got a dog. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And she's
yeah,
like shedding her baby coat. So she's going from fuzzy to like silky and it's fuzzies all over my house.
at least you're going that way.
No.
Look, Hamilton Mutt says I've been 5 foot f all since age 12. Hey, don't worry about it, Hamilton. Buy you some of them shoes that's got the little boost in them and smell good and bathe in sarsaparilla.
Yeah,
Hey,
just there's nothing wrong with short men. It's just, because tall men, no offense to the tall men, but some of y'all brethren don't have no personality. They'd be like, well, I'm tall. That's it. Just tall and obnoxious.
well,
That's
not everyone gets to be a global icon and national treasure. Not everyone.
oh my God.
Yes. Oh, thought you were calling me.
No,
My
we didn't
bad.
say nobody said Vice Jesus.
Vice Jesus. There we go. What? I mean, you have any announcements to make?
Um
Give your dog's TikTok a follow.
follow my baby because when she gets to 5,000, we going to this restaurant in Atlanta. It's called Four Legged Foodie. It's like It's like a restaurant for. They only serve dog food. It's a gourmet mess. Of course, it's in Atlanta. Of course, so we gonna take her there.
Halo, that's her.
Yep.
All right, hold
Halo.
on.
Her
I'm
service
about
diva.
to put it. Control C. Here, let's
We're
put it
gonna
in the
go on
chat.
adventures when the kids go to school. It's gonna be so much fun. That's when moms get their summer break when the kids
Somebody
go back
click
to
that
school.
link in the chat and see if y'all can see if it works. Somebody click that link, see if it works.
We're gonna be going on adventures. That's when my summer break starts in August. Be in the streets. I'm gonna go outside.
Thank you. All right, so everyone says it works. Listen, y'all, we trying to get Halo to the dog park. We're trying to get Halo
To the restaurant.
to the restaurant. So y'all make sure y'all like, retweet. Listen,
Reach.
Halo got not read, you know what I mean. Repost. Halo got started making some content, Naomi. So you got to get out there.
I be making content. She be biting me. But yeah, she's old enough now she can go out without dying from
Wait,
parvo.
Am I? Yeah, Parvo is rough. Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, and I think we just got some. I got to check with my sister. I think we just got some Queen's Root in. So she did pre-orders. She did pre-orders because I knew I had some on the way, and so we took the pre-orders out of the way, and now we got to add the fresh stuff to the site.
Yeah, get y'all Queen's fruit, put it in your pocket. I'm safe because I don't go outside, so I'm safe.
And listen, handmade mojo bags are going back up on the site. I didn't realize that they were off. They're going back up on the site, and
Yay.
they are going to be for pre-order too. My guests that are coming down, they're absolutely going to go out. I'm going to take them to the crossroads, take them to my favorite cemeteries. I'm going to show them around the swamp. We're absolutely going to do that.
But we working.
But I'm putting them to work too. They're gonna help fill some orders and whatnot. I should just buy the vacuum and just have it in the box and let them come down. Like, hey y'all, there y'all go.
Let me tell you something. These two boys, they would put it together for you and they will vacuum. One of them likes to do laundry. He's obsessed with the washer and dryer. And it doesn't help that it has a little jingle, so he thinks it's a toy.
And I think it's Wednesday, but let me double check.
It
I gotta
is.
check the weather. I check the
It's
weather.
rainy.
Rainy and 90, but don't worry about it. Um, 90 is good for down here. So we'll probably have to pile into the pickup truck because the golf cart only seats one, two. Well, depending on what there are two small people. One,
One
two,
small
well,
person.
okay. We'll figure out. We'll figure out. We'll pile into the pickup truck. I know that pickup trucks are a red flag for you, but mine has four doors.
It doesn't matter for you. Anybody check it for you?
Um, well, that's true. That's true. As a global icon and national treasure, I am unobtainable. I'm unobtainable. You will you it is impossible to kill my like confidence because it is like so here. Look, y'all see Naomi keep trying to knock me down, and guess what? I
I'm
keep
not
serving her
doing
right back
anything. You said
like
you was a
like
red
Serena.
flag.
Like, look, you can't.
Nobody. Nobody.
Gen H 3131. I have crab legs.
And that's all. I was waiting for the rest of it.
where where was all this personality when we tried to do the show the first time? Where was all that then?
It was there.
I can't tell. I can't tell.
But that was like, when was that? That was like
I don't know.
last
I feel
year.
like it was a long time ago.
It wasn't a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
I was, I be doing stuff to try to get out of my comfort zone. Everything but go outside.
Couldn't get a word in. Listen, y'all stop. And hopefully our co-host is okay. Sarah said, Prof, you should do a Hoodoo Fall Fest. Man, hell no. Absolutely not. You know why? Because y'all will come up with excuses. I know the spiritual community. I love y'all to death. And y'all know I show up for y'all. And y'all show up for me as long as you don't have to leave the house. As long as you don't have to leave the house, y'all show up for me. But it's not just me. I know of a very prominent minister, a very prominent minister who said, I ain't, she, look, she said, I ain't doing no more festivals. I ain't doing no more, none of that. Because y'all be having folks reserve blocks of rooms and all this other stuff, and then don't show up. So nah, absolutely not.
It'd
Now,
be cooler though in
so
November.
look, says I'm coming down in the fall. Hey, just let me know ahead of time, brother, and come on the weekend
Yeah.
because my sister be back in school. So just come on the weekend. It'll work.
You got, you know.
And the only announce what she said got what? Okay, so the only announcement I have is on the 23rd.
Oh yeah, classes, sprinkle of chaos.
Oh yeah, Sprinkler Chaos on the 23rd of July, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be having a Hoodoo enemy spell and also protection webinar. It's a 2-for-1 webinar. It's a 2-for-1, and then after the webinar is over, we're going to do a live community hot footing ritual. So
You know what? Every time you say hot foot, I think about this prank my mom said her family's doing each other, and they put matches in between the toes and they strike the match.
yeah,
That's what I think of.
that's a practical joke people used to do all the time. Like
Yeah, that's
if you just
every
standing
time you say
somewhere,
hot foot,
yep, put a
that's
match
what
on
I
your
think
foot.
of. But yeah, on the 23rd, you get your sword and your shield.
Yep, absolutely. So y'all come on down.
Yeah,
Come on down.
you
We'll
don't have to
talk
leave your
live,
house.
draw a crowd. Oh yeah, yeah. You don't have to leave your house. You just come on
Yeah,
down to the webinar.
you know, mess up people's life from the comfort of your own home.
Yeah, and guess what? It will be recorded. I get asked that every time. Well, I won't be able to make it live. I'll be working. It'll be recorded. Get your seat
Yeah,
now.
I'm so glad for the recordings because sometimes last time you did a class, my sisters decided to be annoying, so I had to do sister duties.
Yeah, and people think that I'm just trying to like get people. Well, the reason why I say it's always better to get your seat ahead of time, even if you know you won't be there live, is because the people who are there live always get the recording like either later that night or the next day. If you wait for me to upload it to the site, it
Yeah,
may take a week for me to get it uploaded to the site. So
I
it's
made
always
I
better to
made
do it
that
that
mistake
way.
one time.
I was like, Naomi, I'm gonna get it up there. I
I made that
promise.
mistake one time. Never again.
I'm gonna get it. It's gonna get uploaded. I promise. But yeah, that's that. Queen's Root is up there. Mojo bags are going on the website. If you feel like you're gonna be attacked by a vampire, let me know ahead of time. I'll, just request the sinner's bag.
I still haven't watched that movie, and it's free now. I'm gonna sit
It's on
down with it.
Max.
Yeah, it's free for me.
Yeah, it's on Max. I'm gonna watch it again. Like I am seriously about to head out to buy a vacuum, and then I'm gonna watch it again.
Don't forget your monsters.
You will not refer to my family disrespectfully again.
We actually my sister that's 25. She was monster for the first 6 years of her life. That's what we called her. She's still a monster. She is true to the name.
Gosh, but no, I'm gonna buy a couple of monsters while I'm out. I'm partial to like the orange and the strawberry. But you know the
That
crazy part?
sugar-free nonsense.
So it says Ultra Sunrise, the orange monster, 0 carb, Ultra Sunrise. I looked on the can. Not only were there a bunch of words I didn't recognize, there's like zero vitamin C. I'm like, how do you have something that tastes like orange? It's called Ultra Sunrise. You could have just squirted a lemon into it or something.
I mean, they had to pull all the sugar out. So the sugar and the vitamin C went along with each other.
I guess.
That's why I drink Red Bull, non-sugar free, because give me my sugar.
Oh my gosh. It gives you wings.
It does.
All right.
Red Bull take the Red Bull take the wheel.
All right, guys. I am going to have you know what, Naomi, I'm gonna save a slot for you because I feel it. I feel it. I am going to activate 3 more lines. So I'm going to be hiring 3 more readers. I'm going to save a slot for you, Naomi, because I feel it. People want your approach when it comes to their problems. People want to go, I feel like I'm I'm in a rut. What should I do? And you're like, go outside, drink more water, mind your business, and apply for jobs.
Get some hot wings.
There you go. That's life.
It saved me.
You know what I found?
I will, because you gonna keep talking about it. I'm like, fine.
Right. Look, just don't renege on me. Don't be no renigger. On that note,
Goodbye.
thank y'all for joining us for Lord have mercy, the Conjure Cafe brunch and post lunchtime edition.
Yeah. I hope
We'll
y'all
see
have a
y'all.
great lunch.
We may still see y'all Wednesday. It'll just be later.
Maybe.
Maybe we'll see. And the dynamic will be different. The background will be different.
Ain't no telling what.
I got some in the works. Be live edition. We'll see.
It's terrifying.
Be afraid. Be very afraid. And I'll introduce you to Charlie.
Who the hell is Charlie?
Go watch my TikTok. Good grief. All right. See y'all. Thank y'all for coming out.
Bye.